Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. Budge and I are going to run through things as they're hot up in the last one standing. The postnet last one standing is down to the last four. The league looks over, but we're going to be talking to Stevie B. He's in London. But Budge, first things first, down to four.
Oh, Paul, Chelsea was unfortunately with a lot of the guys, they didn't have many good choices left, and Chelsea have just let so many people down over the years, even us in some of our bets. So disappointing for the four guys that went out, but other guys, great picks. Yeah.
Brentford, they were comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. Yeah.
Fulham, comfortable. We'll find out from Stevie B, his beloved. And Man United comfortable enough, I thought. I watched that.
Well, 1-0, it was only till went the second goal injury time, but you just can't trust them, but what can you do?
What has come to a conclusion is the ladies' competition.
Yeah.
Very interesting budget. They're dead-eated, and then they went on again. And Sue Miller.
Yeah.
Sue Miller from Fulham. And I believe she sent you a lovely message.
Yeah.
She beat Tennille Werner, who was on Chelsea.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. Well done to Sue Miller. Have I met her?
No, I don't think. You obviously know Willie, your husband.
Oh, yes, of course, Willie, yeah.
What was strange, when I met her on Tuesday doing my walk on the beach run, and if you're sitting having a cup of coffee, he said, "How did Brighton let me down on the Monday?" So obviously happy that she won, and but disappointed at Brighton. You just couldn't believe it.
The interest is building, and I believe you got a message
from
her.
But I'll just read
before you read it, I met Kelly Potts.
Yeah, Kelly's in the yachts.
She's in the yachts, and she came out. She follows it avidly. She loves her bet, her brothers, and they all talk about it. And
I think that Dev is her boyfriend.
That's right. That's right. So I met them. So that's interesting. Well, what did Sue have to say?
Yeah, you just said, "Please convey my thanks to Tennille for being a worthy competitor. To you and Paul, a massive thank you for organising and running such an incredible competition that changes your weekends and Monday nights. So many friends and family members joined me on my journey to the end. It was special. Have never worked and stressed so much to earn 1,000 Rand in my life. Can't wait to start again, although Budgie might call me a tote favourite and put the mockers on me. All the best to the men still in. Thank you once again." Sue, to put the mockers on you, it's simple. I just make your husband the tote favourite.
Yeah, guaranteed. A lovely message.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sue. Wonderful message. And let's see if you can keep the title next time we start. But let's go to those four that are still going.
Yeah.
But Gary Grant, who's in Ireland at the moment, the actor Gary Grant, the singer Michael Jackson, Colin McCabe, I don't know him.
No, I've spoken to Colin, I haven't met him either, Paul, but he's been in the competition for years, Paul. So.
And Shorgan Phillips, who's looking to be the first guy to win it
Two-time
twice.
winner, yeah.
Shorgan sort of gets in there, like in the early days, it was always Mark Fourie, and he knows nothing about football.
Well, I don't know about that, because he's had some good runs.
I spoke to his brother.
Okay.
And I said to him, would Mark know 5 players in the Premier League? He said he wouldn't know 5 teams. So that's
he's had a good run.
He's had a good run. Yeah. So one of these four, Gary Grant, Colin McCabe, Mike Jackson, or Michael Jackson, and Sean Phillip. Yeah, unfortunately, Mark Curry, Jimbo Goodman, Francois Demy from Mauritius, and Kevin Power, Fulham supporter, had to go on Chelsea. So that's very, very interesting. What's the latest on Stevie B?
I don't know. Don't know if he's watching Real Madrid or the Championship. Steve, which way are you going, Steve? Real Madrid, Man City?
Yeah. I mean, I watched that. I had both games on. I had the other game on the iPad, but City was just that first half. I mean, they should have been out of sight. It was an incredible performance. And it's hard to know whether they were that good or Madrid were that bad in the first half. But it was, you could tell by looking at sort of Carlo Ancelotti at the end, he was shell-shocked, I think, by that result. So, it was the only worry now is obviously the pundits have all got City with their name on the trophy. And I think they just need to be, take a step back and think, hold on, it's a one-off game against a team that don't give away goals very easily. So, City are going to just have to be a little bit cautious and not throw caution to win. But I think City should be clear favourites now.
Yeah. Steve, just watching both games. Well, I watched till 1-0 last night, but City should have buried them last year. And there should have been 3 or 4 in the first game. That's and ended up 3-2. And it was only 2 injury time goals that knocked them out. And I think they've gone backwards, Real Madrid. I don't think they're a good team at all. They're second or third in the league, never looked like winning it. And City have improved. I think Pep tried to win it with his Barcelona tiki-taka, but after last year, he realised he needs a number 9. Yeah. Grealish has been outstanding in the last few months. And
every time they got the ball, Gundogan, into Silva, into
Rodri,
De Bruyne, into Rodri, out to
Paul,
Jack Grealish.
Head and shoulders above any team in the world.
They are the best team in the world. That first half performance was the best I've seen in a long. Haaland hit the target 3 times legitimately. They're all saved.
Yeah. Well, the one he shouldn't have missed. Even the second one was a great header. Yeah. I mean, a great save. And but they're looking slick, and you just never know. On the day, it could be a red card. The Italians will try and ruin it.
Look, that's the only way they can get beat is a red card, because they've got a much better bench.
Yeah. Steve, Inter 1, AC Milan 0.
Yeah, I thought that. Milan started brightly, and which they had to. They had to take the game to Inter, but ultimately, they didn't get that goal that they looked for, and Leao, who was back from injury, had a couple of half chances, but ultimately Inter over the 2 legs deserved it. And I think when you look at it man for man, you can't see how they can beat City. But I remember when they won the Champions League
against Bayern Munich
some years ago, having beaten Barcelona, when Barcelona were at their pomp. So, look, it could happen, but I think that, City got a few games ahead of that. They want all the talk about the treble, but I think the Premier League is done and dusted, and it should be this weekend. And then obviously they got the game against United.
Yeah.
I think if they, they don't want to come unstuck in that game, because all of a sudden it sort of throws a spanner in the works. But, you just can't see what Pep has got now. He's got a very settled side. He knows his starting 11, and although he rotates, and I suspect if they beat Chelsea and they win the league, he'll rotate a few players in those last couple of league games. But he knows his best 11. If they're all fit, the 11 that started yesterday will be the 11 that will start Sunday, and in the Cup final and in the Champions League final.
Yeah, I think he's a bit fortunate that the FA Cup finals on the Saturday and the Champions League's the following Saturday, so there's plenty of time.
10th of June.
10th of June, the 3rd's the Cup final. But Steve, on to the Europa League game I'll be watching tonight. Seville, Juventus, 1-1. Seville played well in the last, in the first leg. If that Argentinian hadn't have got injured, I think they would have rolled them. But how do you see the second leg going?
I think Seville should be favourites. The way they played against United, they were much stronger at home in the second leg, and I think that there will be. I thought that if Juventus were going to win this tie, they needed to win the home leg, and they haven't. Look, they could still surprise everybody, but I think Seville, this is their competition. They've got an outstanding record in this competition, and actually they're playing very well. In La Liga, they've won 5 out of 6 going into this game. So I have them as favourites tonight.
Okay, who will they meet? Because this the next game, Bayer Leverkusen, Roma 1-0. I saw the goal; it was a good goal, but Mourinho,
a special one,
parked the container again.
Yeah, I think I think it won't be a particularly entertaining game unless Leverkusen can get an early goal, because I think Roma will really shut up shop and try and catch them on the break. And I think Roma will start as favourites just because Mourinho knows how to park the bus, or the whole coach. I think he'll do tonight if he can. But as I say, if Leverkusen score early, then it could be an interesting game. But I think, as things stand, I fancy it to be a Seville-Roma final.
Okay,
just staying with Roma for a moment. I watched a short documentary, Steve, on the special one. And if you go in, the latest English dictionaries have now got the term "park the bus." Can you believe it?
Park the bus.
Mourinho saying has gone into the English dictionary to park the bus. He said it at Chelsea.
Is it one word or half?
I don't know. It's just park the bus. Park the bus is now in the dictionary. Yeah.
Well, they were singing that at United a few times at Anfield with 0-0. But anyway, Steve, West Ham, good things to go through.
I think they will be. I thought Alkmaar played well last Thursday. The first hour, to me, they looked the better side. But they tired. Once West Ham scored, I think they had a chance to make it. Ben Rama missed a good chance to go 3-1. I think that would have given them the cushion they needed. I think overall, I think they will be too strong for Alkmaar, but they'll have a go. They're a small ground, but quite vociferous. I think it's going to be, I'll be watching that as well, and I think there'll be quite an entertaining game. I think West Ham know that, having sort of slipped up last year in the semis, they know what they need to do tonight. I think they'll personally, I think it could end up a draw tonight, and that'll be enough for them.
Yeah, Basel, I couldn't believe, beat Fiorentina 2-1 in Italy.
Yeah, that was a real surprise. Fiorentina were ahead a lot. I mean, they're at home now. They've got the advantage. I don't think it'll be straightforward. Again, I could see Fiorentina giving them a close game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends in a draw, but Basel go through. And I think if it was West Ham Basel, I think West Ham would be very happy with that.
Yeah, I think Fiorentina will come back. I've watched them the last few weeks. They can play. They're a decent team. Steve, the Championship playoff final. Luton 2-0. Sunderland just couldn't defend crosses into their box. Although they were lucky to win the first game. But, and even watching Coventry last night, geez, that's a team they're a dinkum panel beating team if ever I've seen one. Do you think that's the right final?
Look, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Borough, who obviously, with Michael Carrick. But Luton have just made Luton a very hard team to beat. Rob Edwards, who Watford sacked after 10 games, gone to Luton and have got an exceptional record. Yeah. They're a very physical team. I mean, basically, they just bullied Sunderland the whole of the 90 minutes the other night. And, Sunderland, in the end, were a well-beaten side. For all their trickery and skillful players like Diallo and Roberts, they just couldn't find a way through. And Luton just, blocked everything. I was slightly surprised with Coventry. I thought Borough, having sort of got the draw at the Ricoh Arena, I thought that they would win it. But from what I saw, Coventry looked the better team. It's going to be quite a physical final.
I would say.
And again, as I said to you before, both teams were in League Two only 6 years ago. I mean, it's incredible that here they are, one of them on the cusp of the Premier League.
Yeah, Mark Robbins, the man who saved Fergie's job.
Who's he manage?
He's at Coventry.
He's got the thugs.
Yeah, he got the thugs. Jeez, but there again, you watch Luton. Some of them could play for England rugby team. This is the ball could come out of shape with the way these two panel beat. But anyway, next Saturday, which is good, it gives them 10 days to prepare.
Yeah.
Steve, big game tonight. Newcastle Brighton.
Who's going to win, Steve?
I fancy Newcastle. I mean, look, Brighton. You look at some of their results recently. I mean, beat United.
Yeah.
Well beaten. So Arsenal were well beaten by Brighton, yet they go and lose to Forest and Everton.
Yeah.
It's hard to call. I know they got one or two injuries. They got a few injuries. Brighton. Solly March is out. Okay. I think Newcastle are going to look at this game and think, okay, we want to cement this top four place, and I think their game in hand tonight, they win it. I think, and they got Leicester next week.
Yeah.
I think that they'll get the points they need. I think it'll be a good, entertaining game. Brighton are still, even if they lose this, they've still got half a chance of getting a Europa spot.
Stevie, have a bet. Brighton certainties. Brighton will roll them. They had 26 chances against Everton and lost 5-1. No, get on Brighton. They're a very good side. Those tricky wingers.
Yeah. Only thing is that talk about choking.
Yeah.
Newcastle were woeful against Arsenal. I know they hit the post twice. And against Leeds, I was disappointed in them. I know Leeds are fighting for their lives, but big game tonight. But they are at home. The Geordies should be a good game. And for all Liverpool fans and United fans too, they want Brighton to at least get a result.
The pub's open in Newcastle in 1 hour's time.
I know, Newcastle, the pub's never close unless the team plays.
Yeah.
Steve, on to the weekend. We'll bring the fixtures up now, but we kick off at White Hart Lane.
Where else?
Tottenham against the Ivan Toney-less Brentford. Is he banned or is he allowed to play?
I thought it was immediate effect.
No, Ivan Toney, the ban is immediate now for 8 months.
Thank God. They won without him.
Oh.
They rolled a team without him.
How do you see it?
I think Paul knows better. This is do or die for Tottenham. If they want to get a Europa spot, basically they have they have nothing other than a win on Saturday would be good enough. And it's their last home game. The fans are going to be restless, and I think they'll do enough. I think Harry Kane will want to put in a performance. The talk is it looks like he might stay, but if he doesn't, this could be his last home game. So I think Tottenham have got to put. If they don't, then I could see them falling out of that Europa spot, and I think the last thing they really want is a Europa Conference League spot. So, this is, Brentford have had a really good season, but they've got nothing to play for other than wanting to finish as high as they can. So I don't know what Paul thinks, but I think Tottenham will just edge this.
Steve, I've been restless for 10 years, not restless tonight. I've battled to sleep with this bunch, but I agree. I think we'll win tonight. The latest news. Arno Slot from Feyenoord become hot favourite to take the job. They've got to pay 6 million Spurs to get Arno Slot from Feyenoord. The Nagelsmann's gone a little bit cold.
I wouldn't take him.
Yeah, a lot to do with who would be director of football. That was one of the issues. But it looks like, I don't know Arno Slot, I know Arno Wood, but I don't know Arno Slot from Feyenoord.
Okay.
So that's the latest on Tottenham.
All right, but on the punting side, you take 8 to 10 Spurs.
Certainties, load up now.
Me, I'm taking over 1.5 goals Spurs at even money. There's no doubt. And Brighton will score. We know about that. No doubt. But I agree, I think, with that Ivan Toney. But there again, Palace without Sahar, better side to watch. But
and they played without Ivan Toney this week and won 2-0 or beat West Ham.
Poor West Ham, but
poor
still
West
they did
Ham
get a
side,
result. Bournemouth, Man United, Steve. I think Man United are certainties. Our key players back, Varane. This is do or die for United. If you can't win this, top 4, because we've got Chelsea at home. As bad as they've been, they'll be looking to upset the apple cart, and obviously Fulham at Old Trafford with our form. Bournemouth are safe, but I think United will roll them.
Yeah, so
what do you think, Steve?
I think so. Yeah, I think they will, but I mean they have to. Basically, it's as simple as that. This is the sort of game that in the past we wouldn't even be questioning whether they would. But obviously, Bournemouth have had an exceptional end to the season and are perfectly safe. But they're funny too. Look, a couple of weeks ago they lost at home to West Ham 4-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I would expect United to go there and put in a performance and win by a couple of goals. Yeah. And again, it doesn't guarantee them 4th place, obviously, but at the top 4 place. But it's going to put them on the cusp if they do.
Yeah, I just think that Chelsea's needle in the haystack, purely because of the history with United and Chelsea. Yeah. United's form. I just can't see it off. Just watching Varane last week, they all know how important top 4 is, and I think it's big money to be in the Champions League for the players, let alone the club. Yeah. Steve, Fulham, we're on them last week. I think this is a difficult game against Palace. How do you see it?
It will be. I mean, it's going to be a tight game. Obviously, Roy Hodgson coming back to Fulham is always welcome. Yeah. Without Sahar, but Palace have had interesting that. The possibility that Roy could stay another year.
Okay.
I think Fulham will just start as favourites. We're going for a club record points in the Premier League if we win.
Okay.
We're totally safe. Obviously still got 1 or 2 players out, but Mitrovic is back and I suspect will now start. And I think it would be an entertaining game. Both teams, no pressure at all. And be interesting. Obviously, Palace have been playing very well recently. SA has been in the goals, and they're an attractive side to watch. But I've got to back. I rarely back my own team, but I think I will at the weekend.
I'm with you, Steve. Go Fullman.
Yeah, I think a draw is a big play. I just think Crystal Palace at the back a lot better than they have been for a while. Roy Hodgson's got them tight, and that Elise and those boys, they can play. But your guys are playing well too, Steve. So I think it'll be a good game to watch. Let's hope so. Liverpool, Aston Villa, Steve. 7 wins in a row. Is this number 8?
I think so. I think Villa have just, I'd say, slipped up a little bit, but I think Liverpool know what they've got to do. They've got to win their remaining 2 games, and I suspect the way that they took sort of Leicester apart, I think that they'll do I think that they'll win. I don't think it'll be as straightforward as a lot of people think, but I think they're good for at least a 1 or 2 goal win, Liverpool, at the weekend.
Yeah, I just think this could have upset written all over it. As Liverpool are playing well, but this idea of Trent Alexander sauntering in the middle of the park on the ball, he's great on the ball, but Watkins and the other boy up front, they are going to terrorise that Liverpool back 4, and McGinn is obviously going to take care of Robertson. I think there's goals in this. I think Villa will score. Guaranteed will score. Yeah, Liverpool are playing well. They cost us money by not scoring the the fourth goal on the weekend. On Monday night. But still, they are looking good. They're playing well.
Be a good
This
game.
isn't an easy game, Paul. I like that manager at Aston Villa. He's got a great record.
Yeah.
Liverpool may win, but I think they're going to have to score 3 to win. So I think there's plenty of goals in this game. But Liverpool, obviously at Anfield, great record. Wolves, Everton, Steve.
Good game.
How do you see it?
Yeah, I think that, Everton tried for the first 20, 25 minutes. They put up a bit of a fight last weekend, but once City scored, it was over. Yeah. I think Everton could get a result here. I think they could get at least a draw and possibly even go for a win. I think they know what they got to do. A win basically keeps them up, I suspect. So I think they'll have a real go. And Wolves are safe. They're good at they are strong at home. To be fair, they are strong at home. But I think Everton, if Calvert-Lewin is fit to play, I think they'll give them they'll have a real go, and I think it'll be quite a close game.
Yeah, Everton, my value bet for the weekend, Steve. Even though they lost to Man City, the crowd was with them, and Man City scored that goal that Gundogan scored was brilliant. Their centre half had any decent brains, he would have scored and given them a chance. But against Brighton, I know they had 7 shots and scored 5, but I like what I see from Everton. And strangely, their last 6 away league games, they've only lost at Old Trafford at a lunchtime kickoff. The Everton. So I don't see them getting beat here, Steve, and I think they can get a result. I know Wolves at Molineux are a dangerous team, but one thing they don't like, those Portuguese guys, they don't like guys down their throats. And with Everton's desperation, for me, I fancy Everton of the 2 teams. On to the next game, big game. The bubbles obviously burst for Arsenal, Steve, but can they rebound at Notts Forest?
Well, I think they have to win if they want to keep their very faint hopes alive. Anything other than a win and City win the league really without even having to kick a ball on Sunday. Look, Forest still need a point or so to be safe. Obviously they were very strong against
Southampton,
when they beat Southampton, and came back and got that result last weekend. I think Arsenal depends if Arsenal got anything left in the tank, because they were a beaten side at the end of that game against Brighton. They just you could see it in their faces. They knew it was over. Whether or not the pressure's off them, because now it's out of their hands and they have a go. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Arsenal go there and get a result. It will just mean that City will have to win, but I think it's too little too late. But if Arsenal do win, then obviously the pressure's still on Forest.
Yeah. No, you're safe. I can see maybe Forest sneaking a draw, but Arsenal have been quality all season.
Yeah,
I know the last couple of weeks, it hasn't gone for them, but to me, they should never have played a weakened team when they lost in the Europa League against Sporting Lisbon. They should have gone for that, got through the next round, then at least give all the players a chance. Having one game a week, people think it's a help. I thought it was a hindrance in that as far as Arsenal went, and they've been woeful since. I know an upset looks possible, but Arsenal have got good players, and they are a good team.
Yeah, they're a good team.
As long as they defend set pieces, I think they'll win comfortably. But, I hope Notts Forest stay up. I like the manager, and I like the fans. I think they deserve to stay in the league, but just don't see it happening this weekend. I think Arsenal will roll them. West Ham Leeds, Steve. We were both on Brentford last week. We read the script that West Ham would play a weekend team, and they did. That handball I thought was dodgy. When it went, I know they missed chance after chance, but if it had gone 2-1, you never know what could have happened. But I think they'll roll Leeds.
Safe.
Yeah, they're safe.
They're safe. There's no ways that West Ham can
improve.
Mathematically, they can't go down.
Yeah,
So
it'd be
Leeds.
interesting because obviously, they got a big game tonight. West Ham play their stronger side. If they get through, is he going to rotate 1 or 2 players just to keep his big players fresh for the final? On the other hand, Leeds, could have even won that game if Bamford wouldn't have missed that penalty at the weekend. I think this is Leeds' big game. I think they have to get a result. I can see them holding West Ham. I just got a feeling West Ham will expend a lot of effort tonight, and Leeds are going to throw everything at them. I don't think that anything other than that is going to help. So there could be an upset. I'm not sure there will, but this is the sort of game a bit like Everton at Wolves. They need a result. Yeah,
I just think there's been a lot of bitterness between the fans over the years. West Ham, Leeds. and the fans don't like each other, and it is at home, and even if they do get to the final's only on the 7th of June. So, why not play your better players? And you could see them all sitting on the bench at Brentford. They were like screaming and shouting to come on, but Moyes kept them, and I don't know, I like West Ham. You, Paul?
I think I'm Leeds and draw, because Leeds, it's do or die for Bigsby.
It's been do or die for these teams for a long time.
Yeah, but with the new guy, and he hasn't started badly.
Sam,
He lost 2-1 to Man City. They came back from 2-0. Yeah, but they came back. Then they drew.
Yeah, they drew with Newcastle.
Leeds. What are you going to tell them in the change room?
There's nothing.
You lose, you're gone.
You're gone.
The cusp is come.
Talking of teams that have gone, Southampton, Steve, will they give Brighton a game? I think they will. How do you see it, though?
Well, look, Brighton have got a tough game tonight, so whether or not he has to rotate a little bit, De Zerbi, because whatever the result tonight, it's still a tough game. Yeah. Southampton were very poor against Fulham last weekend, a game they had to win, and they basically really didn't show much at all. I just wonder whether or not he might swap players around and sort of. I think the fans are sort of saying there are players there who didn't put any effort in last weekend. Whether he's under pressure to sort of play some of the younger players. I think whatever team he puts out, I'd expect Brighton to be too strong.
Yeah, Brighton have only had 34 games.
Yeah.
They're ahead of Spurs. They're ahead of Aston Villa after only playing 34 games. And if they get 3 tonight, let's just say, suddenly they're there and they win. They have to try and win this.
Yeah.
They're pushing hard. They don't realise what a good position they're in.
I know. Well, if they hadn't lost to 5-1 to Everton, they'd have been on Liverpool's heels.
Yeah.
But I think they'll win. But I like Southampton to score. That's my play there.
Okay.
Man City, Chelsea, Steve.
Be a good game.
I think City are on a roll.
Yeah.
I think whatever Arsenal result, I guess if Arsenal slip up, then City, don't have to do anything. But I just think Pep is going to demand they win every game really now for the rest of the season, just because they're on that sort of roll. And obviously 23 games unbeaten. They want to keep that run going. He'll probably rotate a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if
Alvarez
got sort of Mahrez and Foden in. But whatever team he puts out, I think will be too strong for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to prove a point too, because they got beaten in the Champions League final by Chelsea a couple of years ago. So I think he's going to want to put a marker down 4-5.
Yeah, Chelsea going to have to raise.
And last but not least, Steve, Newcastle, Leicester. Surely Newcastle have got to beat Leicester.
Well, you'd think so. I mean, look, Leicester all got 1 foot in the Championship now. You thought they were going to show a lot of fight at Fulham, or a lot of fight against Liverpool, and ultimately, defensively, they were just really poor, and as I say, conceded 8 in those 2 games, and it could have been more. I can't see Leicester getting anything at Newcastle, and even a point probably isn't enough now. So I think Newcastle will win it. That will probably be the points to guarantee a top 4 place, and Leicester will almost be in the Championship.
Yeah. Only thing is, Leicester can score goals, and Newcastle at the back, they play a bit square, and 1 or 2 decent passes, Vardy could be in, but you've got to fancy the way they're defending. Newcastle will thrash them. Steve, it's pressure time again. I'm listening. Who you want?
Well, for my best bet, I'm actually going to go for Sevilla. They've got a
you've got to be kidding me.
Game tonight. But they're playing Real Betis. They're local rivals. they're top of the form league in La Liga, Sevilla, and I think even though they're playing a big game tonight, I think at the weekend their fans will demand they put out their strongest side. So I'm going to go for them. And my value bet, I couldn't decide between Everton and Leeds, but I think I'm going to go for Leeds. I think it is do or die, and I think they'll throw everything at West Ham, and you never know. They got that result at Brentford last year when they had to, and I just think they might get this result at the weekend.
You're not going to believe it, Steve, but Sevilla's my best bet as well. I looked, I went Everton as my value bet. The other team was Napoli. They're playing Inter Milan. Obviously, the league's been won. I just think they're going to want to put a marker down and give them a hiding. But that was the only thing. I know Inter Milan are in the final now, so they'll start rotating. But I just fancy Everton. I like the fight they've shown, and I think they took Calvert-Lewin off as a precaution ahead of this game.
Yeah.
But Sevilla. I remember United played there. The guy commented, it's the hottest city in Europe. Is that right?
Where's that?
Sevilla. Seville.
I've been there in some years ago, and it was we went to a bullfight. Not that I enjoyed it, and you were outside, and it was sweltering. I mean, crikey, I melted after about an hour. It really was hot. So.
Okay. All right,
Steve. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Stevie B.
Liaise over the games tonight. Take it easy.
Take it easy, Steve.
Cheers,
all the best.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Right, PSL. Budge. Midweek result, very good for Maritzburg.
Paul, I watched it. Sundowns made 10 changes. The only guy that played was a guy that got sent off on Saturday against Wydad Casablanca in Morocco.
Yes.
They made every change. Maritzburg equalised, about 20 minutes to go. Then they hung on for dear life. But it's the last round this week.
That's
also,
right. Let's just talk about that. The relegation looks very tough. With the bottom team being Chipper on 29 points. I won't do the goal difference yet.
Yeah.
Marumo, 29 points.
Yeah.
30 points Maritzburg, 32 Richards Bay. So Richards Bay get a draw.
well, they're safe. Yeah.
They're safe. Now, minus 10, they...
Maritzburg got the worst goal difference. If Chipper and Maruma draw or win, Maritzburg are relegated. Because the last 16th place is automatically gone, and then 15th goes in the promotion playoff. So that minus 16. So they're going to need at least one of them to lose.
Maritzburg must try and win.
Well, no, they've got Maritzburg. They've already played their games because they played Sundowns on Tuesday.
Oh, 30 games, correct. Oh, so they got to watch.
Yeah, they got to watch. Yeah.
So
it's tough, Paul. It's close, and should be good viewing.
if they both draw,
Then
they're
Maritzburg are gone. Yeah. But then Chipper are in the promotion playoff game, and Maruma Gallants are safe. Yeah.
Well, okay.
So there'll be some.
Now let's look at the top 8 positions.
This
top
is even
eight.
tougher.
Tougher. Now, I'm going to read you 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
6, Stellenbosch, 37. Sekakune, 37.
Yeah.
Golden Arrows, 37.
Yeah.
Swallows, 37. And TS Galaxy, 35.
Some of them play each other, Paul. That's the
One
good.
game left.
Yeah, that's their last game. Yeah.
And so 2 of them are going to get it.
The good thing is, Paul, especially for Maritzburg, is that some of them play the bottom two, Maruma Gallants and Chipper. So it's not like they need a point to stay in. So those teams need to get points to finish in the top 8.
All right, let's look at the games.
Yep.
They're going to come up on our screen, Budge.
Hebe Usutu, Paul, being woeful
Heba
of late.
Usutu. What is the story, Budge?
Well, I just don't know the managers in and out, and that guy that we met
he
to the
still
airport, he's still there, but he's in an advisory
Director now,
commission.
yeah.
They moved him up. Paul, you just never know. Pirates have been great. Won the last 4 away from home. They beat Chiefs in the Cup. They're in the final. My only reservation about Lander Pirates is the finals next weekend. So what are they going to do? Are they going to play their best team, or are they going to rest their players?
A week is a long time.
Yeah, that's what I would do, Paul. But if they play their best team, they'll beat AmaZulu.
Yeah.
It's at Moses Mabhida, so it should be a good game. But Orlando
Chipper
Pirates
United,
for me. Well, this is a
fighting for
big
their
game.
lives.
And Golden Arrows fighting for their top 8 lives.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has got draw written all over it, 21 to 10. That's what I think. Chipper would take the draw, even if they are in the relegation playoff. They'd take that and hope Maruma don't. But Arrows, Paul, you just never know with Arrows.
Yeah.
But draws a player for me
Chiefs
there.
City.
Well, I like Cape Town City. Kaizer Chiefs. They got beat. Cape Town City have only lost 1, like the last 10.
Okay.
Tinkler's got them going, and I don't know if this has got a vendetta against Chiefs, but every time his team plays them, he's trying to prove a point. But Kaizer Chiefs, they got knocked out. Sadly, someone threw a bottle at the manager, Arthur Zwane. Shocking, But anyway, apparently they've resolved it. But I like Arthur Zwane. I think he's done a good job. But Chiefs aren't a good team. But I think it's a draw in Cape Town City for me there, Paul. And I like Royal AM, Paul. We were on them last week when they got beat at home to Swallows 1-0. But Richards Bay have got 1 point in their last 10 games.
They've dropped right out of it.
They started off great. I think there'll be goals in that, Paul, especially last game at Umlazi. So I hope the fans get a decent game, but somehow I doubt it. On to our second page, Sekakuna Supersport. Now, Sekakuna play Pirates in the final next weekend, but they drew 1-1 with Pirates last week, and they're going well. Supersport United, they've got to win because them and Pirates are on the same points, with Pirates with a goal difference. But Supersport beat Chiefs last week, and I think they've got more to play for than Sekakuna.
Supersport's last 5 away games.
Drawn 4, lost 1. Terrible. But they did transfer their home game last week to the Northwest, where they beat Chiefs. But Paul, a tough game, and obviously draws in PSL is popular, but of the two, I like Supersport United and TS Galaxy Stellenbosch, Paul. I like Steve Barker. I think he's done a good job. They won last week. They're unlucky in the semi-final, the cup, got beat on penalties. I think they'll beat TS Galaxy. And Maruma Gallants, Paul, I sent Dylan a WhatsApp last night. They played in the CAF Confederations Cup semi-final. They got beat 2-1. So I just wonder if that's will have an effect on his players. But, you know, Swallows are in form, Paul.
Yeah, not easy.
Not easy. So it draws a player there. That's what I think. I think there'll be goals in the game. But last game of the season, lot to play for, Paul.
All right, but let's have a look at your...
on to our exotics for the weekend. I score 6. I'm going Tottenham win and draw at home against Brentford. I've banked Man United to beat Bournemouth. I've gone the field in the Fulham Crystal Palace game. I've gone Liverpool. I've added the draw with Crystal Palace. The field in the Wolves Everton game. And I just fancy Arsenal to beat Notts Forest. 2-1-6. On to the other soccer 6 on Saturday. I'm going Orlando Pirates, win and draw against Amazulu. I'm going Chipper United, win and draw at home against Golden Arrows. Siding with Cape Town City, win and draw against Kaizer Chiefs. I'm banking Mamelodi Sundowns at home against Wydad Casablanca. CAF Champions League second leg, Paul. It's 0-0 after the first. And I'm going with 2 away teams, win and draw. Royal AM against Richards Bay and Supersport United against Sekhukhune United, 192. On to our score 10 for the weekend. I'm going Tottenham win and draw against Brentford. Bankering Man United to beat Bournemouth. The field in the Fulham Crystal Palace game. Liverpool to avoid defeat at home against Aston Villa. The field in the Wolves versus Everton fixture. On to the second page, I'm banking Celtic to beat St Mirren. Bayern Munich to beat RB Leipzig. I've thrown the draw in with Arsenal at Notts Forest. AC Milan in their situation have to beat relegated Sampdoria. And I've gone the draw. Barcelona have won the league. I think they'll rest players and play a few youngsters. So I've thrown the draw in against Real Sociedad, 288. On to the soccer 13 for the weekend. I'm banking Arsenal to beat Notts Forest. Liverpool to beat Aston Villa. Man United to beat Bournemouth. Everton win and draw at Wolverhampton. I'm going Crystal Palace win and draw at Fulham. Going with Carlisle United, win and draw in the League 2 playoff against Bristol City. Bankering Atalanta to be too good at home against Hellas Verona. The second page, I'm going UD Almeria, win and draw at home against Real Mallorca. Banking Athletic Bilbao to be too good for Celta de Vigo. Marseille, win and draw at Lille. Nantes, win and draw at home against Montpellier. Banking Bayern Munich to beat RB Leipzig. And Lillestrøm in the Norwegian Cup final. Win and draw against Brandbergen, 256.
Right, Budgie's
On
best
to
bets.
our bets, Paul. I'm going Man United to win and both teams to score against Bournemouth. I'm going Brighton to win and both teams to score against Southampton. And Newcastle United to win and both teams to score against Leicester City on Monday.
Leicester, that's that game.
4,200 not tonight. Yeah, that team goals only. I'm going Tottenham against Brentford. Aston Villa against Liverpool. Everton against Wolves, all over 1.5 goals. And I think Newcastle are going to cement Leicester, over 2.5 goals in that game.
Okay.
Couldn't believe the price, 6,400 to 200. On to our over 2.5 goals, both teams to score sides. I'm going Tottenham, Brentford, Liverpool, Aston Villa, West Ham, Leeds, and Newcastle, Leicester on Monday, 3,100 to 200. Paul, I didn't get any feeling for any teams to back in the PSL, so I'm chancing the games where there should be goals. I'm going Chipper United, Golden Arrows, Kaizer Chiefs, Cape Town City, Stellenbosch, TS Galaxy, and Swallows, Maruma Gallants, 4,000 to 200. The Spanish League is still going. So going for teams that have something to play for. I'm going Getafe to beat Elche, Sevilla to beat Real Betis, and over 2.5 goal, both teams to score in the Rayo Vallecano Espanyol and Valencia Real Madrid games, 3,400 to 200. And our Collis King, 6 on X. So I'm going Man City to beat Chelsea. Newcastle to beat Leicester on Monday. Bayern Munich to beat RB Leipzig. Getafe to beat Elche. Atalanta to beat Hellas Verona. And I had to throw a team at a price. So I went Napoli to beat Inter Milan, 3,600 to 200. So that's
fantastic, Budge. Fantastic. There we go. Budge has been red hot with his football bets. Those are Budgie's bets, and interesting to see who will win the last one standing. Until next time, stay on side.